Fuzz pedals are an essential part of a guitarist's toolkit. As well as sounding great, they often have the kind of names that guitarists find hilarious for some reason. But if you're feeling a little bit lacking in inspiration about where to use them creatively, I've got a few ideas here for you, taking inspiration from some of the greats. So, without further ado, grab a hold of your big muff and let's have a good old play with it. Other fuzz pedals are available, of course. First of all then, we are borrowing a bit of an idea from Keith Richards, inspired of course by his use of the fuzz pedal in Satisfaction. One of my favourite bits of that track, incidentally, is just before the first chorus, where you hear this very loud click, which is him turning the pedal on. Listen out for it. Anyway, what we've got here is a bit of a Stones style chord progression. You'll very likely spot that. It goes like this. Where we are moving from E to D to A. Now, the part in Satisfaction, so the legend goes, was Keith Richards trying to come up with a part that he expected would later be played by a brass section, but they just never got around to doing that, and it just stayed a fuzz guitar part. Now, what I'm going to do here inevitably does sound pretty satisfaction-y, but more broadly speaking, we're trying to take inspiration from the idea of creating a riff that's a hook line and isn't too wall of soundish. It's not going to take up too much space on the loop. It's going to be the kind of riff someone could sing over. And to that end, the fuzz setting is quite important here. So what I've got going on is quite a deliberately thin sounding fuzz. The fuzz dial itself is quite low, the tone is quite high, so it's quite wiry and trebly. Now that chord progression is in E, but more specifically it's in E mixolydian. So that is the obvious pool of notes to draw upon when we're coming up with a riff. The notes of E mixolydian are E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and D. So it's like an E major scale but with a minor seventh. The D is natural as opposed to sharp, as it would be in E major. Now, what I'm going to do for the riff, again, drawing very, very obviously on the inspiration of Satisfaction, I'm going to play all on the 6th string, starting on the B note. But to make it a little bit more like maybe what you might expect to hear a brass part on a kind of soul record, I'm going to play around with the offbeats a little bit more than he does in Satisfaction. So come in off the main beat and do a riff that kind of goes like this. So I'm playing around with the E mixolydian notes on the E string. So we've got B there at the 7th fret, C sharp at the 9th, D at the 10th, A at the 5th, and I'll chuck in the open E as well. Let's see if I can put something over the top of that chord sequence then. Something like that will do. I'll record that over the top. I might just turn the fuzz up ever so slightly. Clever little subtle detail about that riff, again borrowed completely from Satisfaction of course, is that it doesn't start on the root note. It's based around this B note, which is in the E chord, but of course is not an E note. And that really gives it a nice kind of textural feel. It sounds like you're listening to a part within a mix rather than something that's trying to take centre stage. So again, very, very useful for singing over the top of. Okay, going somewhere distinctly less subtle now, we're going to have a go at something a little bit more similar to what Billy Corgan might have done in the Smashing Pumpkins. And for this, we're going to use the fuzz to create a really intense, menacing, heavy kind of a wall of sound. And for that, we have a minor groove, which goes like so. And it's doing some fairly obvious minor key things. We are in the key of G minor, and we are moving up from the G, up a minor third to B flat, and then down to the minor seventh, which is F. And for our fuzz part, we're not going to think terribly hard. We are going to follow that progression using power chords. So we're going to go from G to B flat to F. With the fuzz on, of course. Now, I've dialed the tone back a little bit from the last example, somewhere a little bit more sensible, and the fuzz control itself is kind of central. It's pretty much all at 12 o'clock. You might find you want to adjust yours to taste depending what kind of fuzz pedal you are using. Mine sounds like this. And for my purposes, that will do fine. I don't think it needs to be any heavier than that. It's going to be played all with downstrokes, like so. So let's just give you an idea of how that sounds just as is with that track. That works fine. What I want to do though is add a little bit more menacing kind of a texture to that, and I'm going to do that with a phaser. This will work pretty well with any modulation pedal you happen to have, works really well with a flanger, even a chorus would do a similar kind of a thing. What we've got going on here is the rate of the phasing is quite slow. So we're going from this to this. So you can hear that very slow modulation taking place over the course of the part. So I'll play that over the top of the backing. Now, for those of you who found that last example a little bit too moderate and restrained, we are going to venture into Neil Young territory now. And for this, we have a folky style backing track, which goes like so. All within the key of A minor, and we're going to do a little bit of soloing over the top of that using the fuzz pedal. And for this, I have turned the fuzz control all the way up. The tone control I brought down quite a lot to make it quite thick and spluttery sounding. I'm also going to run it into another distortion pedal as well. So when you turn that on and don't do anything, it sounds like that. So I'm being a little bit uncouth to my neighbours here, but all in the interest of art, you understand. Now then, Neil Young's lead playing. Let me choose my words carefully here. I love it. I'm very pro it. Having said that, he does do a lot of things that, as a guitar teacher, you often find yourself encouraging students not to do. The bends are often a bit flat. The vibrato is pretty uneven. There's often a bit of miscoordination between the hands, which means a lot of the notes get a little bit lost. It's not very fluent. None of which is meant as a criticism, you understand. I think it works really, really well within the style. And it works particularly well here with this kind of a setting, because it sounds like buildings falling down anyway, so it's a good idea to kind of embrace the chaos and reflect that in your playing. It does feel a little bit odd deliberately mimicking those things in your playing though. So the best thing really is just to not care about any of that and just kind of go for it. Good idea to stick within the A minor framework though, so we'll stick within A minor pentatonic basically in a couple of different positions, and I'll give you a little bit of an idea of the fun you can have with this kind of a setting. And there we go, a few ideas for fun with fuzz. Really hope you enjoyed that. If so, please consider liking and subscribing. Would mean an awful lot. Thank you ever so much for watching. I will see you again very soon. Cheers.